Hello and namaste. My name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. Now we all know कि exams को लेकर बहुत uncertainty है. One such exam is CFA. Recently I read कि उसके बहुत सारे centers cancel हो गए, exams cancel हो गए. मुझे भी बहुत confusion था. And I knew that a lot of you have reached out to me कि आप चाहते हो कि किसी तरह से हम जो है किसी को लेकर आएं जिनको इनके बारे में पता हो, जो हमें help कर पाए, guide कर पाए. So today I have Juhi here with me, who's going to share her experience of being a CFA, of getting through the exam. She's going to give you some good tips and she's going to tell you about all the changes that have come about with the whole exam and the certification. If you're interested, stick around. Video अच्छी लगे तो यार please subscribe कर लेना. Hit the like button down below. Let me know in the comments और क्या चाहिए आपको मेरे चैनल पे, क्या देखना चाहेंगे आप. और इस वीडियो को प्लीज कोशिश करें हेडफोन से सुनने की, यूजर एक्सपीरियंस बेटर रहेगा. तो अब जब सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास है तो सीधा चलते हैं जूही से बात करने.
Okay, so आप CFA हो, so let's start with this. How can we think about starting a CFA? Like, what is the process like? What is the step one of the whole process?
Okay, so let's start with what the CFA charter implies, right? So the CFA designation is for any individual who's trying to build a career in investment analysis in specific, but in the finance industry in general. So whether it's investment banking, trading, equity research, credit analysis. So if these are your areas of focus, you would want to pursue this charter. So what are the basic requirements, right? So there are two key eligibility requirements. One is that you should have a valid international passport. And two is that you should be either in the final year of your graduation or you should be a graduate. So those are the only two requirements for you to start the exam.
Okay. And do you have to get your degree evaluated somewhere or no?
No, you can be. So one of the key things to remember about the CFA charter, it's a global exam. And so irrespective of whether you are in Asia or North America or anywhere in the world, if you are in your final year of graduation or you are already have graduated, you are good to go and you can directly register.
Okay. And I've heard there are 3 levels, right?
Yes. So let me break down the levels for you. So there are 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. In order to get the charter, you also need 48 months of work experience, relevant work experience. So if you're a CA and you're wondering if articleship counts, so no, it doesn't. It needs to be sort of related to the investment management decision-making process. So, and you can get that work experience before or during or after you have cleared all those 3 levels. And so if you meet those requirements, you can get the charter and the license.
Yeah. So there are so many changes that we've heard about. So can you just tell us some of the changes that have come about recently, especially, with the pandemic and everything?
Right, with the onset of this pandemic, the CFA Institute has done a lot of changes in the structure and cadence of the exam to make it more flexible for the people trying to pursue CFA. I think most of those changes are very positive. So, for example, till 2020, all the exams were paper-based, but now going forward in 2021, all the exams are going to be computer-based. And so you no longer need to write on a piece of paper, it's going to be computer-based. But they are still going to be in person. So it's not like online, you can do it at home. The other big change was that earlier, CFA level 1 used to be conducted twice a year, and levels 2 and 3 would be just once a year. But with the new cadence, it's going to be, the level 1 is going to be conducted 4 times a year, and level 2 and 3 are going to be conducted twice every year. And so for anyone trying to pursue these exams, this added flexibility of, more times is going to be very useful. With it becoming computer-based, they've also expanded the number of centers. So as you know, people pursuing this exam in India sometimes had to travel to some of the other cities to take that exam. But now they have expanded the centers by a lot. And so it would be good if you go to the CFA website and see if, your city is now one of the centers. You may not have to travel anymore to take the exam. So those are some of the good changes in the broad structure because of this pandemic.
Okay.
But I think,
so we mentioned about, we spoke about level 1 and then level 2. So do do you have any idea, or can you give us an update on the costs of what the whole exam would be like?
Sure. So when you register for the exam, there's a fixed enrollment fee of $450, and then each exam there's going to be an exam fee.
Okay.
Now, based on the time when you enroll, if you avail of the sort of early bird discount, you get you need to pay $700. But if you enroll closer to the exam, it's going to be $1,000 per exam. And so your cost can range from 2,500 to 3,500 USD based on when you decide to register for the exams, if you clear all of them in one go. So I think if you compare that to the traditional MBA or master's programs, it's quite reasonable, and it offers a lot of credibility in the finance industry. So I think that it's, in that sense, is a reasonable price for the exam. So those are the key costs if you're not buying any study materials from any providers.
Okay. And in terms of study materials, do you think the institute, is there any material that the institute is providing, and is it good enough?
Yeah, there is a lot of material that the institute provides. So there are 10 topics in the CFA exam, which are going to be primarily the same in all levels, but okay, of course the level of difficulty and the weightage of each of those topics varies as you move through the levels. And the CFA exam provides study materials and question banks for all of those topics. Now they are quite extensive, and there are a lot of practical examples given in it. But so if you are a working professional, you're not a full-time student, you have a constraint on your time, which is what I had. I was always pursuing it with other studies or while working, so it was difficult for me to comb through those large study manuals that the institute provides. So I studied using the Kaplan Spicer books. They have really amazing, more concise, they learning, they're bit-sized learning outcomes they have, and a lot of good questions. But of course, it's a bit expensive. It's like $350 for the notes and around $350 for the question bank. So if you do not want to invest in that, I would recommend you spend a lot of time solving the question bank that the institute provides. I think a key difference I felt in the CFA exam is that it's very application based. So a lot of the students spend a lot of time worrying about the materials and memorizing and not really solving questions. But this exam, you don't have to memorize anything. It's very conceptual. It's very application based. So whenever you get time, try to take mock exams. Try to solve a lot of questions. That is going to help you. So to ace this exam more than reading and studying the material as such.
And then you take some mocks as well, like mock exams.
So with the Spicer study material, you get 2 practice mock exam books with 6 exams each. So I used to time box myself, and it would be good to mention, it's a good segue. So each of the levels are used to be 6 hours each, but now with the new so in 2 sections of 3 hours each. But with this new format, computer based, it's going to be 4.5 hours each of those sections, divided into 2.2 hours 15 minutes of 2 sections with an optional 30-minute break in between. Okay. So time management is key. So when you are doing your mock exams, make sure that you time box yourself in those 4.5 hours and see if you are like one of the key things I always followed was that if I got stuck in a question, I used to skip that, go forward, and then come back to that question later once the exam, once I've completed all of them and I'm revising. So some of those tricks and tricks to remember when you start solving a lot of the mocks, you will start doing that yourself. So time management is very key. The second thing to remember, especially in the 3rd level, is that the first 2 are just multiple choice, right? So there is a lot more time, I feel, that you have in the first 2 sessions, but the 3rd session is subjective. So one section is completely like proper answers that you have to, like an essay type answer that you have to write. Their time management becomes even more key. So some of the things I did, well, as I was not taking any like proper tuitions for studying while commuting, I used to watch a lot of free YouTube videos of like FinTree, IFT, Sanjay Saraf. These are some of the CFA exam tuition providers who put like free videos on YouTube on various different topics. So if you're commuting, if you are traveling, just feel free to just hear those videos and internalize those concepts. That's going to help you with they have a lot of videos on how to write those subjective answers, how to do time management. All of that is going to be super helpful. So do that when you're not able to sit down and study.
Okay. And then you said you did not take any tuition, so you just got the study material, studied it yourself, and wrote the exams. And did you think that that was enough, or do you think that somebody should be doing something more than that?
So, like I said, I am a very visual person. I like to hear. Sorry. I like to, watch somebody explaining it. So that's why I used to watch those videos. Was sort of like semi-tuition. Wherever I got stuck, I used to search those concepts online and learn that way. If you are taking tuitions, it's going to be obviously helpful, especially if you have a constraint on time. But I think all the levels are perfectly doable by yourself. If you have the time, do self-study. Like I said, focus on solving questions. That is the key to this exam. No amount of memorization or rotting is going to help. Just solve questions and you will be sorted.
Okay. And then in terms of the cost, I think the lowest that we're looking at is like 2,500 plus 700 that you paid for the study material, which you can obviously, people can decide if they want to have it or not have it. So like the lowest cost really can be 2,500 then.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like a very expensive course to me at all. That's probably what you would pay for a CPA as well. So
Exactly.
Okay. And then for any other changes, because there are rapid changes, do you suggest that people follow the CFA Institute guideline, or is there like a newsletter that you can subscribe to or something like that?
Yeah, I think the best would be to follow them on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, follow their pages there so they keep posting all the exam updates. The second thing to do would be go on the CFA exam website, and there is on top there's a link that says CFA exam updates. Click on that and it'll give you all the latest updates that they've been making. It's super important to be checking all of these updates periodically, because very recently, for example, they canceled exams in 27 centers, 27 cities in India. They are offering a lot of flexibility in terms of changing your schedule or changing your center. So in order to be updated about all those changes, follow their pages on all social media and keep visiting their website.
Okay. So one more thing that I want to know, Juhi, there are so many people writing this exam. Are there any specific key points that you can give them from your experience or with changes that have happened so that this can be an easy journey for them?
Sure. I think two key pieces of advice I would give is, one is that, actually I have it here with me, the CFA Institute offers you to use this special calculator. So it's the BA2 plus Texas Instruments calculator, which has a lot of good functions like the NPV, discounting, so you don't really have to do all of those complicated calculations yourself. You can just use these functions directly, and there are a lot of free videos available online on YouTube which can help you learn all these functions easily. So if you're starting, I think step one would be familiarize yourself with this calculator and its functions. The second key piece of advice I would give is that do avail of the early bird discount, at least in the year 2021. Because if you're unsure, if you feel unprepared just before the exam, the fees to change your exam date is only $25 in 2021. Before and after that is going to be $250. So with this reduced fee, I think you can really take advantage of that. So do register as early as possible, and save yourself those $300, invest that in the study material. So that was me for those two key.
Okay, all right. This has been great. Thank you so much, Juhi. I think this is the quickest way of telling people about CFA. So appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for doing it. Guys, I'm also putting her LinkedIn link below. If you have any questions or should you want to connect with her, make sure you do. The link is right in the description box. Thank you so much, Juhi. Appreciate your time today, and keep doing good things.
Yeah, thank you for having me. See you soon. Goodbye. Peace.